Listen, you guys, I just filmed a whole ass Instagram story on how I refresh my hair after like a week and a half. So my hair, I mean, got a little dandruff. It's a little dirty, but I think it looks pretty bomb. Follow me over on the gram. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be sitting down and filming a look that gives me an overall flawless base, like a flawless look, a glowing complexion, but still something that's going to make me feel extremely confident. Like that's the focus of today's video. I have no idea what we're gonna come up with, but I do know I pulled out a bunch of different products to use in today's video. But before we begin, I do want you guys to know that a portion of today's video is being sponsored by Charlotte Tilbury, which I am so incredibly excited about. It's been a dream of mine to actually work with Charlotte Tilbury. You guys know I have staple products from within the brand, like the AIRBRUSH Flawless Finish, Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I mean, if this here doesn't speak volumes, I really don't know what does. But I'm going to be using some of my favorites within today's video, as well as newer products that I've had my eye on that I haven't had the opportunity to try out until now. So I hope you guys love today's video, and if you do, of course, make sure you guys like the video, turn on your post notifications, and also drop me a comment letting me know what your favorite product is within today's video. With that being said, let's go ahead and zoom in and let's get started on today's look, because I'm excited. So to kick off today's video, we're gonna start off with some skin prep. You guys already know what's up. If you have a good base, you have a good face. I did already prep my lips with a little bit of a lip mask. More recently, my lips have been so incredibly chapped, so I just popped this one on here by BAREMINERALS. It's extremely thick, but it's really doing its job, and it's really giving my lips that hydration that it needs. I'm now gonna go in with the face cream. This one here is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is a cult favorite. This is Charlotte's Magic Cream, and let me tell you, this cream is super thick. I have been using it for the past few days, and honestly, I'm so glad I have this in my collection again, because I remember trying it maybe about a year or so back, and I was blown away by the cream. It's very thick, but it's very moisturizing and hydrating on the skin, and even though it's extremely thick, it doesn't interfere with the makeup I'm putting on top, so it makes for a really nice base to prep your skin for makeup. So I'm just putting this all over. I do want you guys to know though that it does have, I guess you could say, a slight fragrance to it. So if you have acne prone skin, definitely tread softly, try out a sample before getting it. I do have acne prone skin myself, and I find that it doesn't irritate my skin whatsoever, but I know everybody's skin type is different, so I just wanted to put that out there. I kid you guys not, anytime I put more of a hydrating, moisturizing product on my skin, it's game over. My skin literally soaks it up. It loves it so much. So that was definitely a nice refresher. I waited about 5 minutes or so that way I can move on to the next product, and I will be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, which is one of my personal favorite products. You could either get one light enough to use as a highlight, or you could wear it underneath of your makeup, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing today. Ooh, this is just such an incredible product. I am in the shade 4. Now this is definitely more of a self-tan shade if I was to wear it on its own. So definitely keep that in mind. If you want to go for something that is closer to your skin tone, then definitely go down a shade if you do follow my shade reference, because this one here is definitely more of a self-tan shade. But I'm gonna put this all over because I am going for a really beautiful and glowing complexion. I'm just gonna ball out and put this all over the skin, because what I love about it is that it's very luminous on the skin, but it's not glittery, it's not chunky or anything like that. It has really beautiful fine pearls in it that really radiate on the skin. I mean, come on, you cannot tell me that the Hollywood Flawless Filter is not gorgeous on the skin. Now, because I am going for something that is very pretty and just glowing, I am going to pair it with more of a radiant foundation. And with that being said, I'm going to go in with the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation by NARS, which you guys know is another one of my favorites. The shade I wear is M1 Punjab, and I am going to take some onto the back of my hand, and I'm just going to dot it onto the skin, because that's how I typically love to apply this foundation. Now, I'm not going to get too crazy with it. I am only going to start off with just a little bit, and then I'm going to use a sponge to buff and blend it out, and I'm just using an e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, picking up whatever I have left on the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to start buffing and blending it into the skin. I love to start in the center of my face and work my way outwards, just so that way I don't get like a horrid foundation line and everything just blends beautifully. So you can definitely see the foundation really even out my complexion, and it looks very flawless and beautiful, which is exactly what we're going for. Now, before I hop into concealer, I want to take like a brief intermission and start working on the eyes. I will be using these cream eyeshadows by Charlotte Tilbury that I am so excited to use. These are called the Eyes to Mesmerize cream shadows. I have the shade here called Oyster Pearl, which is probably the shade I will be using today. But not only that, I picked up the shade called Pillow Talk, which is such an iconic shade for Charlotte Tilbury. I've heard nothing but great things about this formula, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Oyster Pearl and I'm gonna spread that all over my eyelid to act as a really, really beautiful base for eyeshadow today. Now, one thing I'm really going for with this look is that I don't want it to be so structured. Anytime I see a look by Charlotte Tilbury, I feel like it is very pretty and blown out and nothing is too structured. So that's exactly what I'm going for today's look, which is why I'm using more of a fluffy brush to spread this out all over the eyes. But let me tell you, the formula is so incredibly creamy. It blends out like a dream. It's not getting patchy at all, and these cream eyeshadows, they did not disappoint. Like, I've had my eye on them for so long, and I'm so glad I was finally able to pick them up on the Charlotte Tilbury website. Now, speaking of the Charlotte Tilbury website, when I was shopping for my products online, I did notice that they had 30% off select lines. So if you guys are interested in picking up any products, definitely check out those sales. I'll have a direct link to shop down below. I want to say it's going on from now through August 16th. So you definitely want to take advantage and save those coins while also picking up some stellar high-end makeup products, because if y'all know me, I love high-end makeup, but I love getting them on a discount that much more. So look at that. This is blending out beautifully. And I guess what I really like about this cream formula is that I'm putting it all over my lid, but when I start to blend it like here in the crease, it kind of looks like I have a matte transitional shade on already. So it's kind of like a one and done eyeshadow. Are we gonna do a one and done look? Should we do that? Should I take it all the way out on my outer V? I think we're gonna go for it. Now, I know I said I was gonna do more of like a one and done eyeshadow look, but you guys know me, sometimes I get really carried away with makeup. So I'm gonna dip into the Summer Solstice palette by NARS, and I'm gonna pick up some of the shade here. It definitely is more of like a taupey brown, which I think is gonna complement this look really well. I just wanna add a little bit more of that definition right here in the outer V. Nothing too crazy though. I feel like the shade really complements the overall undertone of that cream eyeshadow, and it's really just gonna create such a beautiful addition to the eye look. So now that I have eyeshadow pretty much done, I definitely want to go in with concealer now, and I'm gonna throw it back to the TEINT IDOLE Ultra Wear. This is the all over cover concealer that I used in one of my previous videos. I've been obsessed with this concealer. It is so good underneath the eyes. It's not drying whatsoever. It has a very, very big doe foot applicator, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this underneath my eyes, and I'm just gonna use it to conceal and also brighten in the slightest bit. You can see it is just slightly lighter than my actual foundation, and I did that because I also want to conceal and brighten at the same time. So I'm gonna take a little bit onto my chin area here, forehead, and down the bridge of my nose. I'm now gonna go in with some kind of loose powder to really set everything down and in place. And since my last video, I've really been obsessed with this Lancome powder here. I'm gonna pick up a little bit on my sponge, shake it off, and I'm lightly going to tap this underneath my eyes to just set it down and in place. This powder is so fine and it looks so pretty underneath the eyes. It doesn't get crepey or anything like that. And I think that's what's really drawing me to this powder. Look at that. Now I'm also gonna take just a little bit onto my chin area because this is an area that I do tend to get pretty oily throughout the day. So I am going to really mattify this area of my face, so like my T-zone. But for the other areas of my face, I'm going to keep it pretty luminous. Now, even though I want to keep the skin luminous, I can't really go without setting my makeup down and in place. Otherwise, it'll kind of slip and slide throughout the day. So I'm still going to have that glowing complexion, but I'm going to set it down with a powder that is so finely milled. It's unreal. I will be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I mean, you guys already know this is my favorite. It is pretty expensive, but I always go back to this powder. I always repurchase it. This is in the shade medium 2, and I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. By the way, I'm using the brand new Beauty Bird and Sigma brush collection, and I'm going to use this to set down all the other areas of my face that I did not use that loose powder by LANCOME. And you can see how pretty this looks on the skin. This is not a powder foundation by any means. It's so pretty, it's so fine, it's so lightweight, and it almost gives my skin this beautiful airbrush finish that I love. I'm gonna go back up to the eyes and finish them off. I also need to add in some brow product because my eyebrows are looking a little ashy, but I'm gonna jump back into the Eyes to Mesmerize Oyster Pearl Cream Eyeshadow, and I'm gonna take more of a smaller brush and I'm gonna smudge this on my lower lash line just to connect all the eyeshadow together. I'm just taking a fluffy brush and I'm kind of just buffing and blending that cream eyeshadow underneath my eyes. And let me tell you, they really nailed it down with this cream formula. I feel like it's so easy to just place underneath the eyes and just kind of buff and blend it out. Granted, I did go in with that one matte eyeshadow towards the outer V, but for the most part, it really is just that Oyster Pearl eyeshadow. And it's funny because their slogan is expert makeup is made easy for everyone, everywhere, every day. And their cream formula really stands behind that slogan because easy, so easy. I definitely need to finish off my brows, so I'm gonna go in with my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I'm lightly just gonna add some color to my brows because they're looking a little dusty. And you guys know I like to just do one line, and then I'll flip the brush over, and then I'll just lightly buff and blend the product through the brows, and this is gonna give it a little bit more color, and it's really just gonna bring everything together. So for lashes, I'm gonna pop these on right here. They're by Salon Perfect. They're in the style 690. I like that they have the fit and flare look to them, but they're not too dramatic, so they're not really gonna take away much from the eyes. So I'm gonna pop these on off camera very, very quickly, and then we're gonna move on to the rest of the face, which I'm pretty excited about. So now it's finally time for me to work on bronzer, and I'm so incredibly excited to finally have the Airbrush Bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury. I did pick mine up in the shade medium 2, and just for sizing reference, this is the face powder and this is the bronzer. It is massive, it is huge, but I'm so excited. Again, I have been wanting this for so long and I've heard nothing but great things about it. Oh wow, it has absolutely no kickback in the pan, and I am picking it up on the Dream Powder Perfector that Beauty Bird came out with Sigma. And I'm just gonna take this around the perimeter of my face to build and add some warmth to the skin. Ooh. That is really pretty. I'm really glad I got shade 2. I was leaning more towards shade 1 online, but this looks like it's building very, very nicely on my skin, and it's not too overly warm for me. It's like literally the perfect shade. Look at that. So this side compared to this side over here, it's very pretty, it's soft, it's subtle, and I also feel like it's most definitely buildable, which is awesome. I definitely prefer a bronzer that I could build up to my desired intensity as opposed to going in with a product that's so pigmented all at once and it's like super hard to blend out. So that is really, really nice. If you guys have tried this bronzer, let me know how you feel about it, or if you have been eyeing it, let me know down below in the comments. Let's have a little chit chat because I'm so glad I finally have it in my collection. I'm just gonna take whatever I have left on my brush and then just take it over the bridge of my nose. You guys already know how I get down. My little W on my face. It's just something I like to do. Because this bronzer is so buildable, I'm thinking I wanna use it to do a little bit of nose contour. Nothing crazy though. The next thing I really want to do is I do want to go in with blush. I'm going to use the Rouge Romance palette that JACLYN came out with. I used this in a first impressions video and I did really love the formula, but I use it in conjunction with some other items and I really just want to just use these powders in today's looks. I'm just mixing these two shades here at the bottom and I'm just going to pop it right here. And you can see these blushes are so pigmented and just so pretty. Wow, they definitely pack a punch. So one of the last and final things I'm gonna do for the face is highlight. And I always feel like highlight really is a hate-love relationship for me personally, but highlights in these Beauty Light Wands by Charlotte Tilbury are very highly rated. So I did decide to pick up one in the shade called Spotlight, which is, I think, is going to be a really, really beautiful highlight shade. So I'm just going to turn it on. So it has an on and an off switch. And I'm going to just take out or squeeze out a little bit. And as you can see, this is a very, very pretty like champagne shade. Ooh, and I did a really good job picking out my shade online. I didn't want it to be too dark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some onto my beauty sponge here and I'm just gonna tap it onto the highest points of my cheeks. So one of the last and final things I'm gonna do before I move on to the lips is go in with some setting spray, and this is gonna melt down all the powders. I did get a little carried away with my AIRBRUSH Flawless Finish powder, but this setting spray by Rare Beauty really melts everything down and gives me such a beautiful and seamless finish, which is exactly what I'm going for today's look. So I'm gonna go a little crazy and I'm just going to spray this all over my face. All right, so while I wait for that to dry down, I'm gonna work on my lip color, and I'm super excited about my lip combo today because I will be using the KKW lip liner in the shade Nude 2. If you have Milani Saucy Toffee, the statement lip liner, it's a spot on dupe for this. I just can't find mine at the moment, but I'm gonna be pairing it with a lipstick by Charlotte Tilbury. This here is in the shade Nude Kate, and I'm so glad I was finally able to get my hands on this because the Charlotte Tilbury counter in my Nordstrom has been out of stock of this for as long as I can remember. So when I saw that it was online, I immediately snagged it up. Is this not the prettiest nude you have ever seen? I mean, come on. I'm gonna line my lips and then I'm gonna top it off with the lipstick and you guys are gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. So this right here is the final and completed look. Let me tell you, there are some staples for me in today's video. I love the way my makeup came out for one. I feel like the eyes are so simplistic, but they're so breathtaking, blown out, and just like wet on the eyes, but not like overly done. I feel like the eyes to mesmerize definitely live up to the hype. I love the shade here in Oyster Pearl. I love that I was able to blow it out and get something as pretty as this with just like a little bit of a matte shadow in the crease. So definitely check these out. I do have the shade Pillow Talk as well, so I'm definitely going to be playing with that in videos to come. And who knows, I may even pick up some more because that's how good they truly are. Also, Nude Kate. I'm so glad I finally got my hands on this lipstick. I'm just gonna apologize in advance. I'm probably gonna wear this shade in every single video to come because this really is my perfect nude. Do not walk, run to the website. I will have everything listed down below. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, leave them down below in the comments and I'll be answering comments as soon as this video goes up. Huge thank you to Charlotte Tilbury for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad I finally got to try out products that I've been dying to try. I don't have much else to say, you guys. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.